The oil filter housing on a 300 TDI is a sort of simple but complex piece of kit, because it's got attached to it the pipes that go to the oil cooler. So how does it work? Do you put cold oil back into the engine? Well, no, not really. One of the first things you've got to check when you take all these apart is normally when you take the pipes off, which are a 7/8 AF fitting both sides, you'll pull the pipe off and you find there's no O-ring, but actually if you look very carefully and get a pick, it will be stuck inside the housing. Let's have a look at the other one. There she goes, stuck inside that housing. How odd, eh? Now the problem with that is, if you pull your pipes off and you find out there's no O-ring, you think, oh well, I'll put one on when I put it back. But what you can actually do is double it up, and you can actually push one O-ring inside. I've seen that happen before. So anyway, I haven't cleaned this up properly yet, but I'm going to do something. I'm going to show you the oil passages in this, because it's kind of interesting. So engine oil enters in the bottom here, and it goes in here, and it comes out of here, right? So it comes into there and out through here, and you think, well, that's going to go straight to my that's going to go straight to the oil cooler. Well, not really, because if you blow through this, you find out, and I'll plug that one up, it comes through this hole here. Alright, because there's a thermostat in here. Well, let's open that up and have a look. Covered in bloody oil now. Things I do for you guys. So let's take this off here, and this is a little thermostatic valve in here. Now these flanges on here are very fragile. They often get broken in shipping and transport when you're moving engines about. Fortunately you can buy aftermarket ones now, which are not too badly priced. So there's the housing, and you can see it's a strange piece of kit. There's an O-ring in. Well, where's the O-ring? Where's the O-ring? There's supposed to be an O-ring in there. Oh, there it is. It's got a bit squished. Now, I'm going to tell you something really important. I'll write this down sort of in the description. Although it looks triangular, right, you see it's not a complete round O-ring. It started life as a round O-ring. It goes onto this shoulder here, and it fits into this conical base here. Now, you must use the correct O-ring. If you can get the right size, but the wall thickness is kind of, well, it's not so much special, but it's not a common size. And it happened to me once. I was tightening one down and I didn't have an O-ring because it wasn't in the frigging gasket set, and I tightened it down, and just as I was getting, you know, thinking, oh, that's great, snap the flange off here. So I've learnt my mistake now and get some in. So here is the little thermostat, and you can see the extent of all the gunge and gunk on there. Look at it, it's really gummy. But just like a thermostat in your car, this opens and closes with different temperatures, and there's a guide in the top for it there, if you see what I mean. So it moves backwards and forwards like a little valve. And also there's a couple of washers. Now pay attention with these washers, if I can get them out. This is why sometimes these picks are really handy. That's another top tool you're going to go buy. Ah, damn it all. Yeah, what the heck's... Why the heck won't they come out? Oh, there's one. When I took this to bits, I found out that there was 2 steel washers behind the spring, and I thought to myself, well, surely it should be the other way around. Surely it should be like that. But apparently not. 2 washers go on here. And this thermostat Doesn't look like a thermostat, but I believe it is. When it warms up, it'll push this down and open a valve. So I'm kind of curious now. So what I've done is, I've got the old propane torch. This isn't a really good test, but I've got the thermal imaging camera and I've just warmed this up a little bit just to see what the temperature should be, what it is, and that's at 42, 43 degrees. I wonder if it's written on here what the opening temperature is. 74. We've got a bit to go yet. Now I've got two so we can compare. My bench is a bit worn, to see what they do. So I'm going to leave this one cold. We're going to continue to warm this one up. I'm going to move that out of the way for a start. Alright, they seem to want to go that way, so... And again, we'll keep getting the thermal imaging out and see what it gets up to. $66. Oh, look at that! Look at it opening! Look at that! Can you see it? Look at that! Isn't that good? Hey, let's have a zoom in. Hey. So there's the thermostat opened. Well, isn't that good? I've never seen one open before. So it works. And what's the temperature? 74. Bloody hell, eh? That's good. That's good. I'm really impressed with that. I'm going to test this one now. Where is it? 42. Should be coming up any minute now. I know you're not supposed to use a torch, you're supposed to put them in water, but we ain't got that long. And there she goes, look. What's the temperature? Ooh, 58, so that's opening earlier. I wish. Oh, I tell you, I've found out I've worked something else out as well. That why I didn't get my camera memory card was because our glorious Canada Post is on strike. That's right, they're on strike again. Bloody things, they're never at work. Should try working here. Oh look, this is it. Look at this here. So, there's our little valves. I don't know if you can see them in there. So there they are. When they open up, they'll open against that spring and allow oil to bypass from this internal. So it'll shut this. So oil will come up from here, through your oil cooler pipes, and then come back through here under pressure, and it'll push that spring open a little bit and allow. Cool, it looks like it's going to allow cool oil and warm oil to mix together, and then it'll go through the filter and then through here. Oh, well, that's easy enough, isn't it? That's simple enough. Hey, I tell you what it is. I was about another experiment. God, we're full of them today, aren't we? Why don't we put this together without the O-ring in and warm that housing up and see how far it opens up? Right, what we're going to look at now, I've put the valve, the thermostat in the housing, but without the O-ring. And what I'm going to do is warm this housing up with a torch, and I'm going to zoom in like this. Let's get a bit further, see if it'll focus. Yeah, look at that. So without touching anything or setting fire to anything, I'm going to warm this housing up, and we're going to have a look and see that valve open. And now I can understand why it's got two springs on, because they're actually the valve seats. Move that. So getting up to 74 degrees is quite hot. just wash this off in a bit of petrol. Hope it doesn't catch fire. I'll probably bugger the spring up, so don't start writing in comments that I've done it wrong. $66. There it goes, it's opening though. Can you see? Can you see it opening? Yeah, look at that! Hey! So that's it opening up. Let's zoom in a bit more. Yep. There! Hey! Just there, look. Just... oh, I've got a proper pointer mic for crying out loud. You know, you lazy getting. Turn that thing off. So there, look. You see, there's the oil passage opened. There. Isn't that interesting? You know, all these years I've been fannying about with Land Rovers and never even bothered thinking about that. So now when the oil is hot, coming out the bottom of the sump, it can now go through the oil. So what it'll do is oil comes into this passage through the pipes, and it allows warm, cooler oil to come back into the system, through here and mix. So oil goes in through here, and it can actually come out through here. Ah, damn, it's so bloody hot now. I might have to wait for this to cool down. Yeah, I'm going to cool this down a bit. There's a hole goes at 90 degrees and it comes through here to your oil cooler. However, it also goes through here to your filter, and this warms up. So when the engine oil's warm, it will start to open the thermostat. When the thermostat oil's warm, it will allow oil to go this way and round and get cooled and come back again. And this here comes out of here. So this is into your block. So it's allowed to loop through. So the thermostat does quite a good job, and you know, like I said, we've seen how it operates. So that's that taken care of. That's pretty much straightforward. Just make sure everything's clean. And like I say, when you put this together, just make sure that the little O-ring that goes in here is actually the right one, because don't just run to your toolbox or your box of O-rings, because you can guarantee there isn't one in the set. The O-ring that goes into here is a very special one, alright, so be wary, because you can snap those pieces off. I've mentioned it to you before. So I'm going to clean all this lot up and then we're going to assemble that.